Coming up ahead in this episode of X-Talk Spotlight.
We are a CLIA CAP ISO certified lab, so we have a well-established quality management system, which is extremely important for FDA submissions, and we hold the diagnostic developments and clinical trials to the same quality standards as we do for CLIA, CAP, and ISO.
Hello, and welcome to X-Talk Spotlight, illuminating insights from subject matter experts and industry thought leaders. I'm Sonia Hunt.
In this episode, we are asking the question, what are the key considerations for IVD manufacturers when selecting a lab testing partner? With more, here's Sydney Perlmutter.
Thanks, Sonia. In vitro diagnostics, or IVD, is a field where precision, reliability, and robust partnerships drive progress. Every diagnostic test and every breakthrough in the lab is not just a testament to technological advancement, but also the result of seamless collaboration. And decisions aren't taken in isolation. It's an area where meticulousness meets innovation, and the right partnership can indeed catalyze success. And the choice of a lab testing partner can be as decisive as the innovation itself. The collaboration between IVD manufacturers and lab testing partners lies at the heart of effective and accurate diagnostics. But what factors should IVD manufacturers weigh when zeroing in on this vital partnership? To speak to us on this subject, we have Dr. Dhillon, who has 24 years of clinical research experience in the immunogenics of vaccines and infectious disease diagnostics. She did her clinical microbiology fellowship at Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota. She is a scientific expert in molecular infectious disease and women's health and is actively engaged in multiple clinical trials with a special interest in rapid molecular diagnostics for sepsis. Dr. Dhillon is widely published, serves as a scientific reviewer for multiple internal scientific journals, and has presented at a variety of national and international conferences. Thank you for taking the time in this Spotlight interview, Dr. Dhillon.
Thank you for the kind introduction, Sydney.
Of course, so we'll get right into the questions. So what is Quest Diagnostics' primary role in the IVD industry, and why would an IVD manufacturer choose to partner with Quest for their test development needs?
That is a very important question. So when in vitro diagnostic manufacturers develop a new assay on their instrument, they need to perform reproducibility studies, typically with a minimum of 2 external lab partners, in order to demonstrate the robustness and reliability of the test, and to demonstrate that the test can be reliably performed by other laboratories using the same or similar equipment and methods. So why choose Quest? The way I look at it is, it boils down to 5 S's. They need samples to do these studies. They need space to set up their instruments. They need predicate devices, which should be similar to their instruments. They need staffing to do the assays, and they need structure, established infrastructure where they can conduct these trials with utmost quality and efficiency. So given the power of Quest numbers with our national and international footprint for diagnostic testing, this makes us an ideal partner for the IVD manufacturers to conduct these trials. To give you a perspective, we run about 140 million patients a year, 500 million tests annually. We have about a portfolio of 3,500 assays, and we have a whole team of 650 MDs and PhDs that are available for consultation, research, and development to support the IVD clinical trials.
Can you describe the significance of reproducibility studies in the IVD field and how Quest Diagnostics facilitates this crucial step in test development?
Yes, absolutely. So we described the significance of reproducibility studies when we answered the first question, that they are required for IVD submission. But how does Quest Diagnostics facilitate the crucial step in test development? So what I would say is, it is a very intricate fabric that needs to come together to conduct a successful clinical trial. It starts with a dedicated team of scientific and medical experts, and Quest, as I said, has a huge team of MDs and PhDs in different clinical areas of expertise that have qualifications to serve as PI. Then you need access to diverse range of samples. And with the breadth and depth of testing that we perform, we have biorepository of these samples, we have biobanks, and we can facilitate remnant sample enrollment or clinical sample prospective enrollment if needed for these trials. And we have, multiple disciplines such as infectious diseases, both conventional and molecular, genetics, oncology, flow cytometry, chemistry, LCMS, electron microscopy, immunology, hematology, coagulation, cytogenetics, and anatomic pathology. So that gives a great breadth and depth to enroll the diverse range of samples that may be needed by the sponsor. In addition to that, the sponsor has access to a broad range of instruments which can be used as predicate device. And more than often, we have one or up to 2 to 3 assays devices available to conduct their trials. We are a CLIA CAP ISO certified lab, so we have a well-established quality management system, which is extremely important for FDA submissions, and we hold the diagnostic developments and clinical trials to the same quality standards as we do for CLIA CAP and ISO. Some of the studies, may require enrolling thousands of specimens, and just because of, the infrastructure we have to meet the volume and the testing requirements, it makes us a very desirable partner with the industry to conduct these trials. And last but not the least, data delivery solutions. So we have worked with pretty much every EDC, and we have interface experience for data reporting, not only to the sponsors, but also to the patients if required for the trial. So given that, we bring quite a bit of expertise and offerings to the table to partner with our industry partners.
So which site have you worked with, and what kinds of testing and services do you provide most often?
So, given our experience in this area, we have partnered with pretty much all leaders in pharma and diagnostic development. To name a few: Roche, Hologic, Illumina, BD, bioMérieux, Abbott, Luminex, and the list goes on. We also have access to broad range of instruments, as I said, and very comprehensive menu. So, if somebody was looking for microbiology testing, we have culture, nucleic acid amplification testing, mass spectrometry, and then full lab automation if they needed to do some outcome studies. Again, for molecular genetics and molecular ID, we support a broad range of instruments, including real-time and next-generation sequencing methodologies. So really, it depends on, what the need of the protocol is, what the need of the submission is, and we are very flexible in either providing those resources, or if we don't have, since we have a dedicated R&D team to develop them so that our partners can have a successful trial.
Now, what measures does Quest Diagnostics take to ensure the quality and compliance of its services, and how do these align with industry standards and regulations?
Absolutely. So for us, quality is key. We are a national laboratory with a biggest footprint serving millions of patients daily. So we do have a very solid foundation in terms of CLIA, CAP, New York, and ISO certification. And we are very familiar with the ground regulations governing any clinical testing as well as any clinical trial conduct. To name a few, good documentation practices, protocol training, having an established workflow for seamless sample receipt and verification, maintenance of equipment logs and preventative maintenances, calibrations and validations, the supply logs, the supply binders. Delegation of authority is another, key one where, we really need to make sure that the people who have been delegated have been properly trained and assigned to those logs. We do have dedicated individuals for program management to conduct these trials in terms of PI, which will be, MD or PhD like me. Then we have project managers and lab managers who assist in conducting the trial. Another important one is institutional review board oversight. So for these studies, depending on the complexity of the study, they may need different levels of institutional review board approvals. And we've worked with both individual institutional review boards and also central IRBs. So I would say we have a pretty structured offering with a solid foundation for quality and management to conduct clinical trials.
So how does Quest foster collaboration and communication with its clients? And can you provide an example of how this approach has led to a successful partnership?
Absolutely. So a real capability of a lab partner is important to be evaluated. And it is very key when you come to complex multi-site studies that may require like patient reporting for standard of care. And it really starts to get complicated when you have multiple sites enrolling in different geographical areas and need state licensures and reporting patient results. So given that we have a dedicated team and dedicated locked facility to conduct these trials, we are able to tailor to the needs of the clients. A good example would be Women Health Study, where we needed partnership between molecular, cytology, and histology laboratories for reporting patient results. So we were able to provide all these services with a wider network of pathologists through our Ameripath partners in the same location so that precious specimens like biopsies don't have to be shipped to an outside facility. Another example may be an oncology study where a combination of molecular, flow cytometry, and cytogenetics testing was required to complete and also provide standard of care for investigational device or method. Again, we offer comprehensive studies under the same CLIA lab, which makes it really efficient for our sponsors and partners to conduct their studies.
And lastly, can you describe the major steps of the process for partnering with Quest for IVD clinical trials?
Absolutely. So we try to make it as efficient and easy for our sponsors as we can. There are pretty much 3 standard steps. There's a pre-contracting step where, NDA and material service agreements are completed. We have a pretty impressive turnaround time for those. We try to complete those in 2 to 3 business days. Then we set up feasibility and site qualification, initiation visit, budgeting, contracting, and statement of work is issued. This entire process we try to complete in less than 2 weeks. Once the contract is awarded, we have a warm handoff to the study manager. And the study manager takes it from there. The study plan is developed, kickoff meetings with the lab and operations are set up, competency testing of the study operators, supply procurement, inventory log setup, specimen management, financial and accounting setup, IRB board review setup, sample enrollment and testing, ongoing sponsor meeting, and study binder management. All is set up simultaneously so that we can have a early and efficient kickstart of the study. Once the study is completed, then the review of the study documents, the closeout visit, and the IRB closeout is conducted. There are times then where we need to be flexible, and we are very flexible because if you're not flexible, you will be irrelevant. So our dedicated team is continuously making adjustments and meeting the requirements of the sponsors as and when required. A good example would be, say they were not able to meet their positives in the numbers they projected. We very quickly, amend those SOWs and continue the study so that, the study is not interrupted. Our motto here is we deliver on time, on budget, and on scope, which is why all our sponsors are our repeat customers. And, we enjoy working with our customers.
That's great to hear. Thank you very much, Dr. Dumont, for speaking with us today.
Thank you as well. Thank you for this opportunity.
Well, we look forward to learning more about the key considerations for IVD manufacturers when selecting a lab partner. Thank you all for joining us for this XTalks Spotlight feature. We hope you enjoyed the discussion.